Good day, class. Today on data processing, we'll be looking at data management, file organization. What is a file? A file is a collection of data usually stored on disk. And as a logical entity, a file enables you to divide your data into meaningful groups. For example, you can use one file to hold all of a company's product information and another to hold all of its personal information. As a physical entity, a file should be considered in terms of its organization. That brings us back to file organization. What is file organization? This is a way of organizing the data or records of a file or in a file. It does not refer to how files are organized in folders, but how the content of a file are added and accessed. There are several types of file organization, which we'll quickly be looking at. We have the first one to be sequential file organization. Sequential, by the name sequence, it's an organized system of filing that has to do with your regular filing, your predominant filing, and your final filing. So in a sequential file organization, we organize them in sequence by which they were added. You cannot insert a new record between existing record, but only at the end of the last record. It is a simple file organization that allows you to process batches of records in the file without adding or deleting anything. However, to access a particular record, processing must run through all the other records above it because it does not generate any random key to identify the location of the record. Searching for a record, especially when there are thousands of entries, maybe time consuming. Also, inserting or deleting records would mean rearranging the entire sequence. What does it mean? That when you are arranging your file, it has to be according in order from A to B to C. And there should not be any lapses. It be like A, C, B. No, we don't want that. We want A, B, C, is a sequential arrangement. Then we have a relative file organization. Now, a relative file organization is assigned to determine the order of files. Where you have just like a family group of something, where you have A, B, C under one context, or we say I under A. Then we have A, B, C under two. All of those little other components, they are relative to just a fixed amount of file organizer. So you can have like the first record will have a relative number of one, the second record will have a relative number of two, and so on. It is called relative because the sizes of each record may vary, unlike in a sequential organization where the record sizes will be fixed to arrange sequentially. Now we'll be looking at indexed filing. This is the third type of file organization. In indexed filing, it contains reference number like employee number, ID card, category number, all of those things. They are to identify a specific, a particular object or entity to that organization. For example, if you have a store where you sell biscuit and all of those things, and you name them in your filing system, you name them according to their particular order. So looking for them on your system would be very easy for you. You just type the keyword two, it will bring out all the whole listed filings under that particular key too. That is what index is. It means just a search word that can use to cover up all kinds of filing. So references are also called the primary keys. These are unique to a particular record. Alternate keys can also be defined to allow alternate method of accessing the record. For example, instead of accessing a record using employee's number, you can use an alternate key that references employees by department. This allows greater flexibility for users to randomly search through thousands of records in a file. Now, what are the factors to consider when choosing a file organization method? So there are three or five basic, well, I'm just going to mention three basic factors to consider when choosing a file organization method. Number one, the frequency of updates. How crucial or how important or how many times this filing keep coming up. Like is your system, your organization keep updating their terms? Are they increasing numbers daily? Are they making sales daily? Are they having any updates? So these are the factors to consider when you are organizing your file. So you will make mistake. You make room for additional files to come in. Number two, file activity. You want to know the importance of these files, how they are being used. You know, you can't have a dormant file in an organization. You need the file to keep having much, well, almost like the first factor. But this second factor has to do with the complexity of that particular file you're dealing with. Then lastly, we'll be talking about the file access method. And that is different from files. It's very, very different. It has different method of being accessed. For example, a reference file is accessed using random method for easy retrieval of data. Thank you very much. And in our next class, we'll be looking at um, information transmission internet. Thank you.